and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my channel if you are new here. I'm Jahan and Happy New Year. I hope you had a really good Christmas and New Year's break, and today I thought it would be a bit of fun just to go in and look at 2022 versus 2021 and at fashion that we just really need to leave behind now. It's a new year, you start looking at your wardrobe, you start looking at styles and trends and thinking, what do I want to carry on, what's going to follow through, or what do we really need to start ditching in 2022? And I've got a few things. This is just my opinion that I think that we just need to leave behind. Some things are from editorials where they've said this isn't going to be a trend, excuse me, that goes on into next year. But if you still like wearing this stuff, I'm not a trend person. I like to follow some trends, but if you're not that person, just wear what you want to wear. But this is just my opinion of things that we just need to leave behind in 2021. The first thing I'm going to talk about, which I think a lot of people will agree with me, are just Crocs. Crocs need to be left behind in 2022. I don't care how you dress them up, what colours you use, whether you want to spray them gold and wear them on the red carpet or whatever, you just need to leave them behind for outdoor wear in 2022. Now, I'm not talking about if you're a nurse or a doctor or a dentist or you're a chef and you're on your feet, or PCA worker, whatever those sort of things are, where you're on your feet all day, because we're not going to deny that they're not one of the most comfortable pairs of shoes to wear if you're on your feet all day and you're running around, because they're cushioned and yeah, they are really, really comfortable shoes. I'm talking about wearing them out in the street with socks, I've seen, or just as if they are an everyday pair of shoes. Now, I have someone in my family who wears Crocs out, and I have no idea why she does it, because she's incredibly beautiful, and I just look down and I see these Crocs on the end of her feet. She knows who she is when she's watching this, but just need to stop wearing them. And Balenciaga putting heels on them and Gucci doing your own version doesn't make them cool. Just stop wearing Crocs outside. Just stop it. The other trend that I think we should see less of in 2022, and it's not all of them, I think it's just the really baggy mum jeans, and I just don't think they're flattering on anybody, and it's just because of where they sit around the crotch and stomach area. Even if you've got what is deemed as the most perfect figure, you always get this sort of like kangaroo pouch at the front, and it looks really, I just think they're so unflattering. And I think it's the ones that are especially baggy. I'm not talking about straight leg jeans. Or straight leg jeans or slightly tapered, I think they look great, and they can look great on some people. But it's the really 80s mum jeans. I just think they're so unflattering. I think they're really ugly, and then when you get them with rips in them, it takes them to the next level of ugliness. And the rips in them, when I've looked at them online at things like Pretty Little Thing and those kind of websites, they just take an uglier thing and put an even uglier thing on top, and it just looks terrible. I really hate those mum jeans. And if you're wearing them and they suit you, that's great, but I am always, I think, going to be a skinny jean lover. I prefer a straighter leg than just like big MC Hammer kind of pants. Okay, the next fashion things I'm going to say need to stop in 2022 are cardigans that are held on by like the tiniest bit. I'm talking about Jacquemus and their cardigans that were held on just by the little Jacquemus sign, and that went through into fast fashion places where they made them with tiny hook and eyes or a tiny bit of string. Those cardigans, they do look really good on pictures and editorials. They're just not practical, because one sneeze and everything is out. Like, I just can't imagine walking down the streets and thinking any second now I'm going to be fully exposed. I do think they look nice in photos, but in real life they're just not practical. And for the price that you pay for a cardigan with a tiny little Jacquemus with just barely any material, I think this just needs to stop. I think Katie Holmes started off the trend with like the matching cardigan and bralette, and it looked really good as she was being candidly photoed by paparazzi. It looks really, really good, but in real life, these items of clothing aren't really practical. Again, it's that fast fashion, fast trend, which isn't great for our environment either. And it's just, I think they're just not practical wear to wear daily in your life. I don't know where you're wearing. I just don't know where people are wearing them. Where are you wearing this? If you're wearing them, tell me where you're wearing it, because I just don't know where you're wearing them. Now the next one is a bit controversial. I don't actually think it's going away anywhere, but it is Y2K fashion, and it might be because when you've been part of a fashion, because Trini Woodall from Trini's channel, Trini London, she says this as well. When you've worn something first time round and it comes back again, you're not actually that keen on wearing it again, and you can see it kind of for what it is. So it's new for other generations or people born like after 90s or past like 2010 or whatever. It's new for them, but some of the Y2K fashion, I think it's the choices of the Y2K fashion that they've chosen to come back. Like those butterfly tops, like they were good to be left behind. The cardigan with the fur around the collar and around the cuffs, like I don't know, out of everything you could have bought back, that is something that you bring back and you make it designer and then you put up the price, and you get these really bad fast fashion knockoffs of them. They're just, again, it's so ugly. There's stuff that you look back in your photos and you think, I cannot actually believe I wore that. And it's just, I think it's more like the tackier pieces of Y2K, and I'm all about having fun with fashion and buying a few bits and having fun with it, but some of it is just, you can see it looks cheap. Putting a designer sticker on it isn't going to make it look any more expensive. I just think, not all of it, but some of Y2K fashion needs to stay now in 2021, and we need to kind of like move and make it more, maybe a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit, make the fabrics nicer, and yeah, move away from that a little bit more. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about now is probably something that I'm going to say it needs to go in 2022, but don't judge me if you see me actually wearing it one day again, but it's tie-dye. Like, we're out of lockdown now. Well, we're in the UK, we're out of lockdown, and we can go out now, which means we do have access to shops, and we do have access to clothing again in the high streets or shopping malls or whatever, and online. So we can stop making tie-dye at home, because all the tie-dye that I've seen just looks like home projects. The designer stuff, the stuff that's being sold in shops, like it just looks like home projects that I would do with my children, and I think it just needs to stop. It doesn't look good. I think if you are in a sunny environment like Australia or something where it's sunshine and you're surfing and all that kind of stuff, it can look really cool, but it just a lot of the time looks messy. And I'm really funny about things like mould, and sometimes some of the patterns make me think of mould, and it makes my body, it makes me feel a bit sick. So I think that tie-dye is something that we should stop using. Stop doing that at home now. Like, we can go out and you can get things if you need to, and yeah, stop with the tie-dye in 2022, please. It just doesn't look good. The next item of clothing, I think, will probably divide people a little bit, because some people love it and some people hate it, but it's just the bucket hat. The bucket hat has got to go. I don't know why people thought this ever looked good in the first place. Unless you're a fisherman or you're a child keeping their son away from you on the beach, a bucket hat does not look cool. It just never has. And I don't know how, like, Christian Dior have made bucket hats, Gucci have bucket hats, Fendi have bucket hats. You can slap your logo all over it, but it doesn't take away the fact that it's a bucket hat. And the worst offenders are the furry bucket hats. I don't know why they've come back in. I don't know why they're being made. And they're not just, you've got this, like, just the normal furry ones, but you've got these massive designer furry ones. They're just awful. They're really, really awful. I don't know who they truly suit. I think maybe if you're a teen, it's TikTok fashion. It's like the worst of TikTok fashion. That sums it up. There are some really cool people on TikTok, and they dress really, really well, and it looks really cool. But there's that corner of TikTok who take it to that, just where it's just awful. And bucket hats, for me, sit in TikTok fashion. They need to stop. for 2022. There are so many other cooler hats you can wear in the summer, or if you're trying to shield your face, or all year round, then the bucket hat. Just stop with the bucket hats, please. And lastly, I think there will probably be a bit more of a consensus with this one, are low-rise jeans, like the seriously low-rise jeans, and the jeans that are so bell-bottomed that they start to look ridiculous, like the ones from Free People. So the low-rise jeans, I was part of that when growing up, like Britney Spears lover, and when the jeans were so low, like Paris Hilton low, that if you bent over, it was game over. And it was even fashionable to have the thong at the back. I never went that far when I was growing up, but if that bit of the thong coming back, because you could see it already happening a little bit with Mugler and their jeans and the way the thong's cut out of the back, that if that starts to happen, oh my gosh, I really don't want to see that again. That's something from the early 2000s that I really don't want to see again. But low-rise jeans, they don't really suit anyone, and they're not really flattering, and they kind of give you this really unusually long torso and the disproportionate legs, and they're just not as flattering as things that just are cut at the navel or above, or just something just high rise. And I just don't think they're very nice for when you bend over. No one wants to have to think about how they bend over if they drop something. And the bell-bottom jeans, I love bell-bottoms, I love flares, I think they're cool. But the ones that are just so big that everybody's seen that meme of the girls who were wearing jeans and their jeans are soaked from being in puddles, or if it slightly rains, the water running up the jean. That is exactly it. It feels like your jeans are going to be pulled down by the weight of the wet at the bottom of your jeans. Wear bell bottoms, but the ridiculously big ones, I just think, again, it's a trend that's going to fall out of favour. You're not going to wear them, you probably might wear them for a few seasons, or you might wear them for photographs and they look good, but they're not long standing in your wardrobe, and I think again they're a waste. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just a bit of fun to start off 2022. What fashion trends do you really want to leave behind in 2021? Let me know below if there's anything that I haven't mentioned, or if you agree or if you don't agree. Are you still going to be rocking low-rise jeans, tiny cardigans and bucket hats? Then you do you, and I'm sure you'll look great in it. If you are, let me know below. This is just a bit of fun, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care.
Feel like falling deeper, colder nights